Scorpio, Dark Dove Tarot here. Hope you're doing fantastic. This is your April 2021 reconciliation read. So again, this is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Again, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for Scorpio for reconciliation read for April 2021. Now, it's general, so hopefully it resonates with the majority of you, but you always want to check your other signs, as some months those may resonate with you as well, or add a little more to your story. Any likes, subscribes, comments are greatly appreciated. If you want a private read, the information is in the description below. Also, I have an extended version if this resonates with you and you want to continue on. The link is below for the extended. So, a few more details here. I've been told by a lot of people who've been contacting me and reaching out to me that they're not seeing the notification pop up when I post a video. So if that's happening to you, YouTube is working on it, but they have said that if you could turn the notification off and turn it back on, that should help. So for those of you supporting my channel, I greatly appreciate the fact that you let me know that that was happening. So again, I appreciate everybody who has consistently supported my channel. You know who you are, and you're amazing. So thank you very much. Anybody who wants to subscribe, that's also greatly appreciated as well. All right, so a few more cards. Interesting. On two other signs, I pulled from the same decks on two rows for whatever reason. It was just the feeling, and I kept going with it. So interesting. I don't know why. I think one or two other signs I did the same thing with, and I'm not sure what it was that the pull was. So I guess we'll see it here. All right, so we'll get your oracle card in a second just to go over this information. I read your sign, Scorpio, over here, and I read the other person's sign over here. As I said, reconciliation read, so we're checking out the energies between the two of you. This can be completely reversed. So if you resonate with this sign more, then that side is yours. But I am going to be addressing you over here. So let's take a look first at your oracle card. Your oracle card is will. Now, the first thing they said to me when this popped out was, you know, against somebody's will, or you can't force somebody's will, or free will here. So it's almost as if either somebody is has been kind of testing your patience, or coming across as you know, wanting your time and attention, because this is, you know, there's decisions that require action here. So you're in control of your own decisions and life, no one else's. Passion and will is determined by, you know, persistence and what you want. So I feel as though there's somebody who's being persistent with you, and you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do, or they're waiting for some decision from you. So maybe there's somebody you're dealing with who you guys haven't talked in a long time, or you're distant, and it's not completely over, or you guys know that you need to make a decision. Are we moving on, or are we not moving on? What's going on here? Now, again, I'm reading you on this side, your head and your heart. In your head, you have the Queen of Pentacles. In your heart, you have the Chariot. So the Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing energy. This is somebody who's grown wise, doesn't play games. The Queen of Pentacles, as I said, is very maternal, paternal, somebody who's a caretaker. So in essence, you've taken care of this person. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, you've been perfect. None of us have been perfect. But in essence, you have done a lot of the picking up after, or cleaning up after. For some reason, they're telling me just kind of the diligence of caretaking in the relationship, or looking out for the best interest of somebody else, maybe putting, you know, their feelings, their wants, their needs in front of yours. And now you're kind of saying, no, I'm not sure I'm going to do that anymore, because this is talking about how you're going to improve your life, or moving away from, you know, kind of selfish or closed-minded energy. So in your mind, you're saying, this is reciprocal. If somebody wants my time and attention, then they need to present it. They need to work for it. And if they do, then I'll reciprocate that energy as well. Now, the Chariot card is Cancer's card, so you could be dealing with Cancer, have Cancer placements in your chart. But the thing about the Chariot card is this is forward momentum. This is moving forward. This is stating, basically, Scorpio, you're moving forward regardless of whether it's with this person or not. You're ready. You have the energy of, I can drive this chariot by myself. I'm full on capable. I'm fine with being by myself. Or I can drive it, you know, with somebody, whether it's this person or somebody else. it feels like it could go either way. We'll see what else comes. But you do have the option card down here. And you do have the judgment card releasing kind of a past energy. So we'll get back to that in a second. But again, decisions that need to be made. And it does feel like it's being willed by somebody else who is kind of hoping that you'll pick them. Now, they have the Queen of Cups over here, which is kind of a slow-moving energy. This isn't somebody who, you know, is bursting with passion or romance. This is somebody who can be very loving, but they're holding back or holding off. There's also a Ten of Swords in their heart. So they're feeling a tragedy, a loss, some sort of disappointment here in the situation. The Ten of Swords is actually a big loss, so heartbreak, but not to the extent of like the Three of Swords. The Ten of Swords is, again, more of a loss or an ending, and they're seeing this ending, and maybe they're feeling like you're going to move on, or maybe they're seeing you move on because of a situation that happened. You guys couldn't get along. As I said, the Queen of Cups, though, isn't making forward movement, or they're not rushing into anything. And so it's almost as if, you know, I want to say, well, they're lost because they're not making a move. Maybe it's something, a wrong that needed to be righted. There's something here that says maybe they should have put a little more energy into it. Maybe they should have put a little more focus or time or attention into it, because definitely something lacking with the Queen of Cups. They're not acting, period. Now, the Queen of Cups tries not to act hastily, so maybe they're, you know, like they don't want to push the wrong buttons, or they don't want to, you know, impose too much. But it does feel like that's, as I said before, there was like a free will or some type of energy that came up here where you were kind of hiding behind it. Not hiding behind it, but saying, you know, I can choose whoever I want. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to move forward with this with you. And they're kind of in a peaceful place, or they thought like, I'm just going to go be in my own space and be peaceful over here. But in their heart, they're feeling like a major sense of loss. And one of the reasons may be because you have other options, or you're deciding that maybe you have other choices. Again, going along with this, decisions to make and free will, it kind of taking yourself out of feeling trapped. So this energy, it's almost as if it wasn't moving, but they didn't want you to move forward without them. So they wanted you to stay back with them where they were, not moving forward. It's like it kind of hit like a dead zone. It wasn't going anywhere, or you guys seemed more like roommates than, you know, in a relationship, or friends than in a relationship. It seems like something got complacent. The passion wasn't there. The energy wasn't there. Because then you have the Seven of Cups and the Judgment card for the present, and they have the Knave of Wands and the Temperance card. The Seven of Cups is, as I said, choices, temptations. You know, do I want to see other people? Maybe you are seeing other people. Maybe, you know, there's other opportunities out there for you. Because then you have the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is finding a sense of freedom about a situation. This is saying, I forgive you and I forgive me. And every time I say this in the Judgment card, I always hear somebody out there going, forgive me for what? Like, I didn't do anything. But I always say this, you know, if you're honest with yourself, then you know you weren't. When I have been in relationships that are toxic, I have had experience with, the fact of the matter is we become a version of ourselves that we don't necessarily like, or we become a version of ourselves that is not pleasing, that is not nice, that is not true to form, or who we want to be, or the best versions of ourselves. And that's when the Judgment card says, forgiving yourself for those moments where you kind of cringe. You're like, oh, that was cringeworthy. I shouldn't have said that. I couldn't believe I said that. But also forgiving this other person for their faults, and then reaching that sense of peace and that sense of freedom. So for some of you with this Chariot, the Seven of Cups, and this Judgment card, you are finding a sense of freedom right now. And they're saying trying on, like, you know, training meals. Like, maybe you're getting out there a little bit. Maybe you're just meeting new friends. Maybe you're hanging out with, you know, the gal pals or the guy pals, and doing a guy's night out or a girl's night out, something like that. It doesn't have to be so extreme that you're out, you know, getting your groove on or anything. But this person is sitting back. They really are. Now, the Knave of Wands talks about, you know, that the Knave of Wands talks about that they're feeling a little creative, that they're feeling a little more energetic, that they're feeling a little more, you know, there's a little bit more of a spark to see, you know, what you're up to, or they're putting a little more energy. This person, is lacking some sort of energy. I cannot explain it, but I just get this like, over here. I'm not sure what that's about. And maybe that's what you've seen, where maybe you guys have been together for 10 years and you're like, you know, we haven't had sex in 3 years. It would be nice to get some, or it would be nice to, you know, you could like, you know, pat my ass occasionally or something. You know what I mean? Because then they have the Temperance card here, which is Sagittarius' card. So you could be dealing with the Sag or have Sag placements in your chart. But the Temperance card talks about patience, moderation, balance. This is saying, look, you know, they're saying, oh, everything in moderation. I won't push Scorpio too hard. I'm not gonna, you know, try and bind Scorpio to anything, because it's almost like they're not sure what they want. Their passion is lacking for anything. It's not just you, it's just in general. However, they are pushing you to make a decision on, you know, are you cutting me completely free? Are we completely done with this? Or is there a possibility that we could, you know, reconcile? And again, there's just kind of a sluggish energy over here. I don't know if they have depression or they're like, nah, I don't care anymore. Not that, again, it's not a lack of caring for you, and you don't have a lack of caring for them, but there's like a passion or an energy that is missing here big time. And how do you fulfill that, or how do you come back around to that? You know, it's not something that just overnight somebody wakes up and says, ta-da! Okay, you know, I'm awake again. What's fueling that, or what's not fueling it over here is the interesting part. Because even down here in the future, they have the Four of Swords, which is rest, relaxation, recuperation. I almost feel like, you know, I see somebody kind of 420 going, they'll be back, man. Like, whatever. You know, no, I don't know. It's just, I have this real cool, like, vibe of, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. No big deal, you know, and that's annoying to a certain extent to somebody who wants passion or wants romance or wants, you didn't sign up for, you know, your best friend or roommate. Like, yes, you can be best friends with your lover, and that's a healthy relationship and all of the above. But this is almost like, you know, I have more fun with, you know, myself than this. And so that's, and it's almost like, even you could fight with this person, you could yell at this person, you could, and there's just no, it's like passive aggressive. There's no, they're like, you know, I don't really want to get into it, like, whatever. And you're like, don't you want to fight for us? And now it's interesting because they're not pushing you like in an aggressive way, but they're just kind of like, come on, you know, like, I mean, it's not that, like, what's the big deal here? Like, you're making a big deal. I mean, so we haven't gotten physical in a long time, or so we're not, you know, I mean, you know, what do you want? You want, you know, the whole world, the whole kit and caboodle, and you're going, yeah, like, even a slice would be nice. So down here in your future, you have the Page of Swords and you have the Ten of Swords. So it's interesting because their heart is the Ten of Swords, that kind of tragedy, loss, heartbreak, but they're not doing anything about it. Like I said, with the Queen of Cups, they're kind of like, well, it is what it is. I mean, it sucks and it's sad. And down here, you're kind of like, you have the Ten of Swords, which is that tragedy, that loss, that ending too. But you're doing it because of the Page of Swords, which is like, okay, message received, message loud and clear. Like, if you're having communication with this person, they're saying, come on, come back. You know, I want to get back together. You know, we should be together. But there's no oomph. There's no gusto. There's no, you know, you're kind of like, what am I going back to? So I just picture two people, you know, sitting in chairs watching like two separate TVs, or one in one room and one in the other room, maybe even sleeping in different bedrooms because, oh, this person snores. Now, I'm not saying that means you have a bad relationship, because I know plenty of people who do certain things that, like, oh, you know, their partner snores a ton and they can't stand it and they need to get sleep and therefore they have to sleep separate. I'm not saying that means there's a problem in your relationship because of that. But in this particular situation, this is a problem, because it's more of a, I'd rather be alone and spend time with myself, because even when I'm with you, I'm lonely. Or even when I'm with you, I'm missing something. Something's lacking. Because then they have the Hierophant card here, which is Taurus's card. So you could be dealing with a Taurus or have Taurus placements in your chart. But the Taurus card, or the Hierophant card, talks about learning a lesson. It talks about a spiritual, you know, awakening. But I can't help but feel like this is a snooze fest. Like I said, because the Four of Swords here is this rest, recuperation, you know, very nonchalant. And it's almost as if when you guys were together, I just picture two people kind of young and having fun and, oh, you know, making out in the back seat of the car. And I'm not saying it needs to return back to that, or that, you know, I mean, some of you are going, you know, I don't want to have to squeeze in the back seat of the car or what, you know, and I get that, but something would be nice. And it's like they're sitting here going, well, you know, I'm just going to hope that the Hierophant is a spirituality, or, you know, a self journey, or, you know, learning a work in progress, basically. So I'm not saying this person isn't working towards something, but there's definitely something missing. So let's see if they're gonna, if, you know, things are gonna fire up. If you want to see the extended version, like I said, it's below, and I will see you later, Scorpio.